The Chicago terror plotter Xavier Pelkey was going to show no mercy at a Shia mosque in Chicago, killing scores of worshipers with bombs. Tonight, what Pelkey was to go around is coming around for him. A federal judge in Maine showing him no mercy at sentencing. Despite Pelkey's guilty plea, a judge handing him the maximum in federal prison. When the FBI raided Xavier Pelkey's family home here in Maine, they found an inventory of homemade bombs, ISIS flags hanging on the teenager's bedroom walls, and evidence of a plot to attack a mosque and other places of worship in Chicago. Pelkey was only 18 years old at the time, but had been radicalized by overseas terrorist websites and propaganda, according to federal law enforcement. And then he recruited two teenage accomplices, one in Chicago and one in Canada, to help with an attack spree in Chicago, nearly 1,200 miles away. In the plot, Pelkey became known as the Bomb Guy. Here at the federal courthouse in Bangor, Maine, Monday afternoon, Pelkey was asking for a 6-year sentence after pleading guilty. The government wanted a maximum 15 years. The judge's sentence, 15.
It actually is a little unusual to get the maximum after a plea of guilty, particularly when you're dealing with arguments on the defense that were not frivolous. He was very young when it happened. He did have an abusive upbringing. There's a story to be told there. So it is a little bit unusual.
Well, the judge apparently said in court that he could not get past the notion that scores of people in Chicago would have been killed had the FBI not intercepted this plot.
Yeah, I think there are a few things going on here that explains this very relatively high sentence. One is exactly that, what the judge said. Had this act actually occurred, it would have been devastating and killed many innocent people. Obviously, that's an enormous factor weighing in the outcome here. I think the other factor is things don't happen in a vacuum. We just saw a horrific mass shooting in Maine, the state where he was convicted. We know what's happening in the world more broadly when it comes to hate crimes. It really is a perfect storm against him. The two underage accomplices who were never named or charged in the Pelkey terror case may never be. The assistant U.S. attorney who prosecuted Pelkey tonight telling the ABC 7 I-team that today's case is what U.S. justice officials have brought. Federal prosecutor Craig Wolf declining to discuss whether there is still an open investigation, but it doesn't sound like it.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC 7 Chicago Eyewitness News.